Hey, what's going on, guys? Mike here from Arizona. I was actually in the process of making lids for my tanks in my greenhouse because the humidity level has gone up really high in there. And yeah, we got a little bit of rain. I was doing water changes, some daily maintenance, just literally everything. I am making this video though. It's not going to be really in-depth tour, but a lot of people are unaware that this right here is not my actual house. This is my fish house behind my house. This is my actual house over here. So there's the greenhouse where I started everything. I still have not set that back up since my car accident, so it kind of like just went downhill because it's a lot of work. But there will be plants growing in there soon enough. I'm gonna buy more shade for it. But everything in there is still functional, still works, just needs to be done. There are goldfish and everything in there are doing great, so nothing really to be worried about. So all the goldfish did pretty good. But I do want to show you this house for people who are unaware of it. Now, this is what we have here. It's where I do most of my filming and videos, but a lot of people seem to think this is still my regular house. But I have my beta racks going in over here. I'm actually moving them from down here to over here. What was happening over here is not the greatest situation. The lights are way too strong, creating a lot of algae at the bottom. I mean, I was doing water changes literally every other day. The snails did a pretty good job of keeping up with the algae at the bottom. However, some of the tanks with the lights right over are just not good. But the water parameters are great. It's just intense light is not good. Not to mention too, these tanks were too low to the ground, so it's kind of hard to siphon the water out and scrape the algae the way it should be done. So I'm moving everything over here. And I'm gonna keep it that way because it just makes life a whole lot easier for me to be able to do it this way. I'm still cleaning out this thing, this one from the algae. All the fish have gone in this right here, on this top one. This top one technically is gonna be all my platinum bettas. I mean, I know there's bettas in there now, but it's pretty much going to be all my platinum bettas because there's a black background, and the rest of them have white background, so it'll be every other color against the white background. All the white fish will go against the black background. And again, we got some algae going on. Again, the lights were too strong over there. Those are reef lights. I don't recommend that because literally the algae was just taking over no matter how many water changes you do. It's just never enough. Not to mention they're like 6 inches above the tank. So there's that. I'm kind of toying with the idea of using this fake artificial grass underneath the tanks so it doesn't have that like great look. I kind of like it. I kind of like the way it looks. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. These tanks are all in the process of being redone. Right now I currently have guppies. I have some blue deltas in here. Mostly just females actually. A lot of the males were sold. So that's what's going on. There's a male. This one's not the best specimen, but here's a good male. Yep, but I have a lot of blue delta females in here. Not too much fry in this tank so much. I think they're actually eating them. But I'll show you this one right here. This tank right here is going through a major turnover. But I want to show you guys something. I kept it purposely like this because I was doing a really interesting experiment. Look at what we got here on this tank. These are all assassin snails, guys. Now, I knew assassin snails breed readily in aquariums, so what I did was I left a lot of this stuff on the bottom so they can bury themselves and feel safe, and I left stuff with roots in there as well because I know that they like to attach their eggs to roots and bottom of plants, right? And I put 3 assassin snails in this tank, and as you can see, we have lots more than 3 in here, and I guarantee there's a lot more that we don't see. But they gave birth to a lot of assassin snails, and I'll tell you what, they're actually pretty easy to keep and maintain. These guys actually really enjoy fish flake food, and I also keep them alive because I have a tank over here that I don't mind the half black guppies. These guys are awesome. These actually are a pre-order for somebody that already paid for, so these are not available on the website. I purposely grow pest snails in this tank. As you can see, there's pest snails everywhere, and I feed them to these guys. Okay, so it's kind of like a circle of life here. of what we do. We have pest snails going and assassin snails going right next to it. No plants get sold out of these tanks here, okay, because I don't want anybody getting any types of snails or anything like that. So the next tank, this is that experiment I showed you guys last week. Actually, you can see a little bit of more growth on the root system here, which is amazing. This is really doing good. I'm going to transfer this one over as well. But this one right here, we just have some floating Anubias in here, and we have like a bunch of these guys are actually Plotties, so I just grow these guys out and keep them to fertilize the plants. Sometimes I sell them, sometimes I don't. It just depends. I know over the summertime I plan on putting them outdoors and just getting a whole bunch of them together. They just come in handy with plant fertilization and keeping algae down, because they really are good algae consumers. And here I have some platinum guppies. These guys are a pre-order, and looks like every single one of them is doing pretty good. Got 2 Cory cats in there. But we have some extra tannins and stuff in these waters here, which is good for the fish. But as you can see, these platinum guppies look awesome. I just want to show you this here, because this is from the last video too. That root system is unreal, and look at all that new growth. It's just doing awesome. And what we're gonna do, to be honest with you, is I'm gonna start cutting these, and from what I understand, so I can actually start to see right here, there's some new growth. Let's see if I can get it to focus right there. And it looks like the new growth comes out of those little nodes. So if I leave this here, I'm sure we'll get new growth along those sides, and then if I probably put this in the water, it'll start to grow roots out of all the nodes. So we'll see. We'll experiment with that and see how it goes. Obviously that one is going to be moved eventually, so we can get that to a better location. I don't think we're going to do it up there, because obviously we have the heating and cooling system right there, and I don't want it to be that close to it. Maybe, we'll see. I don't think so. It's more likely this one is going to be moved up here to this rack. But yeah, so let me give you an update on this. My bearded dragon is now in his new enclosure. There he goes. He's absolutely loving it. Looks like he got some extra crickets in there still. I just fed him some crickets, and he looks very fat and satisfied, doesn't want to move. But I got some greens for him right here and some crickets, and tomorrow I guarantee all this stuff will be gone. But yeah, this tank is doing awesome. It has a 4-foot Zoomed UVA, UVB Volt, and I have my heat lamp above. I yet to make a custom top for it. He can't get out. I do have a top going across the back, so even if he climbs up the top, he's not going to be able to get out of there. So that's actually something that makes me sleep better at night. But I have a space that I could put my hand in here if I want, and he can't climb up the sides of this glass. But yeah, he's doing really good. He blends in actually really well with this background. If I would have known that, I would have made it a slightly different color, because my bearded dragon is actually red and orange, and those are kind of the colors I went with on there because I really like them. But knowing what I know now, I probably would have went a little bit more gray, so he would have popped more against that. But you know what? He blends in there. He probably feels really secure. He loves it. He actually sleeps under the hide at night, and during the day he basks over there. One thing I am not really crazy about is the crickets. See? The crickets get to the top and they just hang out, and every now and again they plop down, and it's so funny to hear them fall on this, because it just makes like a really loud bang for such a little bodied animal, and then the bearded dragon goes nuts and usually eats them. But right now, again, he's pretty fat and he ate a lot. I feed him about 30-35 crickets every day, and today it looks like there's probably a good half of them left. He's probably not as hungry. Maybe he's possibly going to be going into a shed soon or something. But yeah, he's doing really well. Right here I have my false map turtle. He's doing good. I threw some duckweed in his tank because he absolutely loves to eat duckweed. Keeps him nice and healthy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, the room is still a little bit upside down, but this is the room, needless to say. And I have a lot more stuff that I have to do to organize it. It's just a never-ending project. What I thought it was going to look like at first, it's completely different than what I had in mind. I was going to do tanks not facing this way, but kind of long ways, so I can do as many as possible along here on each one. But turns out that the foundation underneath here, the city was having a problem with the foundation and stuff, so we had to actually go with cinder blocks as a foundation rather than a full cement foundation. And I rather honestly just keep as little as possible in here, because as you guys know, we have the whole farm in Florida, which keeps almost all of our livestock. If you order specific bettas, chances are it'll be coming from here, but other stuff you're going to be getting from the Florida location. But as you can see here, like, you know, we have some pretty nice bettas here right now, and they're all doing really good. This one I probably should put in the white background because he's just dark. But yeah, I'm loving these setups. I'm probably gonna put gravel and stuff in here, these two, just because I don't want all that algae buildup at the bottom. That's the problem with these reflective bottoms, is they just amazing for algae to grow. Again, I've tested the water, I've done whatever, there's nothing, no high nitrates, no nothing. It's just because algae just thrives in the hardness of our water here, and any extra light and just takes off. But oh, here's another thing too. What we currently do with the Nereid snails is I keep them separated in here too. This is good for inventory, not to mention these screens. These actually grow algae pretty well, and they graze the screens all day long, because these Nereids really love film algae. Like, you can prepare foods for them and stuff, and they may or may not eat it, but at the end of the day, they do much better on film algae than any other algae. Trust me, I've tried everything, and they get bigger so much faster when you have film algae growing on a surface. So if you guys like Nereid snails and you want to keep them long term and you want them to grow really large, like this. Here's a good example. Look at that little spot that guy's creating. That spot will be clear just like this one soon enough, because they kind of have like a razor that kind of pushes the algae up as they eat it. It's really cool. See, he kind of got a little bit over there too. But yeah, no, I mean, I gotta say that the Nereids are probably my favorite snails for eating algae. But if you need them to eat other stuff, sometimes they're a little bit pickier and they don't readily eat a lot of things we prepare for them. But that's my update for today, guys. I really do have a few really cool projects that I have coming up that I'm going to do DIY tutorials on, and I really can't wait to share those with you. I was supposed to start filming them this weekend, but I did not have the time. I'll give you kind of a sneak peek. There's a 5.5 gallon aquarium down there, and some of you guys who follow me on social media may have seen me not slip, but pretty much tell people what I was going to do because of something that I built earlier, and everybody thought it was a really cool idea. So it is going to get done, but there's going to be something really cool built with that 5 gallon aquarium that you guys are going to love. But that's my update for today, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe, and visit us at greenoasisfarms.com, and I will talk to you soon.